Okay, so the current study is looking to investigate the role of cognition within obesity. So I'm basically wanting to know whether people consume excess amounts of food due to them having a quantity comparison processing issue. So are people who are overweight unable to compare quantities of food accurately, so they're therefore eating too much? And this is based on an undergraduate dissertation that I did last year, where we found that the participants in the excess weight group had poor accuracy for comparing food quantities compared to neutral stimuli and compared to a control group, which was normal weight participants. So to measure quantity processing, we focused on the assumptions from numerical cognition. So basically, every single person has a number sense, and one part of it is being able to manipulate and understand approximate numbers. So with comparisons, you can see quantities and you can compare them automatically without even knowing that you're doing it really, and that's called your approximate number system. So within the study there's going to be a differentiation between the type of food stimuli that we're going to be comparing. So we'll have unhealthy food and healthy food, and they will help show a selective processing of quantities, and if that is anywhere linked to excess weight. So as part of the undergraduate dissertation, the results found that the excess weight participants presented poorer accuracy for comparing quantities of unhealthy food. So within the current study, we're going to expand upon our methodology and incorporate a attentional processing study. So we're going to basically see whether those participants who were presenting poorer accuracy for unhealthy food, whether that's due to an attentional bias. So all the participants within the study were required to fill out a food frequency questionnaire. Then they completed a numerical comparison task, a food comparison task, and a dot probe task, which was the attentional bias study. So within the numerical comparison task, there was neutral stimuli, which was yellow and blue dots, where participants were required to compare and identify the more numerous quantity. Within the food comparison task, as you can see here, we have the healthy food stimuli. Participants were required to identify the highest quantity again, and likewise it would be the same for unhealthy food stimuli. And then finally, in the dot probe task, participants had to identify the probe as it came up on the screen, which was an asterisk. So the current study aimed to replicate the undergraduate dissertation, and we were hypothesising that if we did find a quantity processing difference for the excess weight group, that it would be for the food stimuli, and much like in the undergraduate dissertation where excess weight participants presented poorer accuracy for unhealthy food. Within this study, the excess weight participants presented poorer accuracy on food stimuli, but it was not specific to unhealthy food. It was just overall, which is consistent with the undergraduate dissertation. However, everything else was very similar. Participants in excess weight group and the control presented very similar findings across all comparison tasks and the dot probe task, which shows that there was not an attentional bias towards food stimuli. So to summarise, the current study is still in an exploratory phase. There's very little research in this area. However, as we can see from the undergraduate dissertation and this, there is the tendency for excess weight participants to have poorer accuracy on food quantity processing. So therefore, this could be linked to an excessive consumption of food and therefore obesity.